Don't FHA my VA loan on this episode of Major Money Matters. Welcome to Major Money Matters. My name is Major, and I wanted to put together a quick video here because I am experiencing some issues between FHAs and VA loans and the interpretation of those guidelines. So I really wanted to compare the two and remind my real estate agents and my real estate investors who are flipping properties and stuff like that, not to FHA my VA loans because they are two entirely different products. So let's talk about it. Let's break down how these products are very, very different. Number one, first, we start off with a 90-day flip rule, okay? On an FHA loan, if you are an investor or if you're a real estate agent that happens to invest in flip product or flip homes or something like that, if it's within 90 days since the last deed was transferred on that property or the last deed was issued on that property, you cannot do an FHA loan on that property. However, VA does not have that rule. So if you are flipping properties or something like that, you can accept a VA loan and you can close on that home with a VA loan, but you cannot do that with an FHA loan. Keep in mind the 90-day flip rule applies to FHA, but not to VA. Number two, the 1 year of occupancy rule. Okay, so this applies again to FHA, not so much to VA. The VA is much more liberal with the 1 year occupancy rule. In fact, it's not in the VA guidelines. It is in the FHA guidelines. And if you get that waived, it is going to be much harder to waive on an FHA loan than it is going to be on a VA loan. We've done this. We've done this in the past where life situations change for a veteran. They move into a house, they get orders, or they move into a house, their spouse has children, they grow out of that house, they buy again using a VA loan. You can do that on a VA loan, but it is going to be much, much, much harder to do that on an FHA loan. Remember, the 1 year of occupancy applies to FHA, but not so much to VA. If you buy a home and your life situation changes, you can buy again using a VA loan. Number three, the minimum distance rule. Okay, if you have an FHA loan and you're buying another property using an FHA loan while maintaining the FHA loan on that first property, the minimum distance away is 100 miles. You're buying again using an FHA loan. The minimum distance is 100 miles away from that previous property. VA does not have that rule. So you technically can buy a house that's not far away from your previous property. There's no minimum distance or anything like that on a VA loan because the minimum distance rule does not apply. Remember, on FHA, it's 100 miles between properties according to the FHA guidelines, but on VA, there is no minimum distance between property to new home using your VA loan. Number three, the appraisal staying with the property. All right. So let's say you're a real estate agent and you accept an offer on an FHA loan, and that FHA loan does not close and you do not follow through with that transaction, okay? Let's say that happens. It does not follow through with that transaction, then that appraisal stays with that home for 120 days. So if you fall out of escrow on an FHA loan and you take another offer, okay, a second offer on that home within 120 days, and that offer is another FHA loan, another FHA offer or an FHA loan, that appraisal is simply going to transfer over if it's within 120 days, okay? So keep in mind that when you're listing your properties, there's really nothing you can do. That FHA appraisal stays with that property for 120 days. On VA, new veteran, new offer, new appraisal, okay? It does not stay with the property. The appraisal stays with the veteran and the property, okay, if that veteran is still buying that same property. But if you take another VA loan or if you accept another VA offer on that property, another VA loan, another VA appraisal can be done, and you don't have to worry about the previous appraisal staying with that property. Remember, new veteran, new appraisal. Last but certainly not least, the gift funds rule. All right, if you're doing a FHA loan and you're receiving a gift for closing costs or a down payment or anything like that, you can receive gift funds. Those gift funds must come from a bona fide relative, okay? Somebody with close familial or family or friendship with you that has a vested interest in you and documented interest in you. It can come from a employer also can give you gift funds, okay? So those are the big three. Also, you can get gift funds from a government organization, somebody that's giving you down payment assistance or something like that. Those are basically the categories that you can get gift funds from in accordance with the HUD manual or the FHA manual. VA, totally different, okay? On a VA loan, you can get gift funds from anyone, so long as it is not your lender, your buyer's agent, your listing agent, or if you're buying a new build, the builder of the property. So the guidelines are much more open for VA loans, okay? Very strict for FHA on who can give you a gift. Must be a bona fide family member generally or an employer. VA, totally different ball game. Anybody with a heartbeat can give you gift funds so long as it is not those four people: lender, buyer's agent, listing agent, or the builder on the property. So VA loans and FHA loans are totally different products, okay? Can be good products to fit the needs of the individual, but I need everyone to just understand that these are two different things, and please do not confuse them because they're there to help people. But if you loop VA and FHA loans into the same rules or the same guidelines, then we end up hurting veterans because the FHA guidelines are much more strict and stringent than the VA guidelines, who really, if you have a VA originator who knows how to structure a VA loan, you really can make some great things happen for veterans and for sellers who are deciding to sell their properties, or investors who are deciding to flip properties and then sell them to VA buyers. It could be a great thing. Talk to you guys soon. See you next time on Major Money Matters.